Good afternoon, Jean and John. I would like to introduce to myself. My name is Greta Balmaceda. I invite you to this meeting with the main purpose of discuss some recommendations that I made in the financial recommendation report before to take the corrective actions. The idea is to analyze the financial current situation in Simon's construction to explain you which recommendation should be done. I would like to start with this review with these 3 points: the analysis of the legislative and statutory report requirements. Second, the variances between the budget and actual amounts in the profit loss statement. And the third, the recommendation to correct the discrepancies and issues that were found in the policy, procedures, and business plan. I will start with the first point: legislative and statutory requirements. Financial statements are to be prepared in accordance with the requirements of the Australian accounting standards. This will provide for consistent financial reporting across the Commonwealth to facilitate comparison. The business needs to comply with all of them, following the criteria of the construction industry.
Sorry, just a question. How will we comply with these requirements and who will be responsible?
Well, the entire business has to comply with these laws to develop the legal activity. And don't worry, Jim, an employee will be responsible for all these requirements. I would like to continue with the second key point is the variances between the budget and actual amounts in the profit loss statement. Several variances were found in the income, loss of sales, and expenses. I would like to mention the most remarkable in each area. For example, in the income, the item residential construction had been budgeted by 295,000, while the actual showed 375,000. This variance means a favorable outcome. In the cost of sales, the item which show a significant and unfavorable variance are material and subcontraction. It shows the figure of 5,000 and 3,000 respectively. The last in expenses, the majority of the variances are nil. The favorable variances, for example, account fee which show 0 to the actual.
What happened with the big gaps between the budget and the actual?
I did the same question. The before item, which showed a remarkable gap between the budget and the actual, are being analyzed. Anyway, in spite of these unfavorable variances, the net profit continued rising up to the business.
Okay, Greta, but as soon as possible as you have the analysis about why we have these gaps, please report to me.
Sure, I will to you both. And to continue with this last key point, the recommendation to correct the discrepancies and issues that were found in the policy, procedure, and business plan, I found that several discrepancies were identified which require recommendation to action can be taken. For example, many discrepancies were detected in the analysis of the asset. For example, assets were not recorded by the business accounting system. Assets were recorded by wrong amount. Assets were recorded by two different amounts. Analyzing this situation, the origin of these errors were caused because the business had no asset register to record them in a proper way.
How is it possible?
Well, it happened in many business when they start to grow faster than they expect. Some assets need to be incorporated to develop the main activity. It is highly recommended the creation of an asset register as soon as possible. The next step is analyze invoice and receipt. Many documents were identified with no code and were not recorded in the general ledger. All the documents need to comply with the purchasing policy set by the business. Employees need to know and ensure that they comply with these requirements. All the purchases over 200 require a purchase order to be completed and submitted for approval prior to proceed with the acquisition of the goods and services. Employees need to know and comply with this policy for the acquisition of goods and services. Petty cash, similar cash. It is not acceptable to reconcile once in 2 months. Employees need to know and comply with the cash policy. All petty cash spent should be returned as soon as possible to analyze and determine any discrepancy, and it should be reconciled each week. The next item is travel claims. There are several situations in which employees claim expenses when they should know that they cannot claim them. Communicate and keep the employees updated is the key here, mainly to those employees which are involved in this kind of expenses. This means this measure could be useful to the business if it is well implemented to avoid unnecessary expensive discrepancies and waste of time doing correction in the variances. These expenses are contemplated in the legislation which regulate and determine the rules of these activities. But in a general way, I realize that the most of the variances and rectification are because of lack of knowledge, communication, or training in the employees who are responsible for the task assigned. Do you have any questions?
I think our employees have a mixture of lack of communication and training because they were hired when the business was overloaded with tasks to do, and that people were assigned to do the most urgent tasks, and now this is the result.
Sure, Jim. And if you allow me, I would like to add some specific recommendations. To summarize, my recommendations are: do a general revision of legislation, policy, and business plan, update and upgrade them. Second, communicate and train employees with the new updates. Third, implement measures to monitor the performance. Fourth, evaluate and report the results. Fifth, in case of any weak strengths, or review the points. Well, that is all for today. You will receive the minute of meeting between 2 working days. I would like to thank for your time and participation in this meeting, and thank you.